Hi there, welcome to Brooks Audio. Today we're going to do a shootout between two ambisonic first order microphones, the Rode NT SF1 and the Reynolds Atype4. So I've got both of the microphones here. You can see immediately the difference between the Rode and the Reynolds. The Rode is much bigger, physically taller, longer, and slightly bulkier in terms of its width as well. It also is much heavier. I don't know quite how much heavier. It feels about maybe 2 or 3 times the weight of the Reynolds. This is obviously good for a bonus for the Reynolds in terms of carrying it around with you for field recordings. This one's really light. It wouldn't really take up much room in your bag. Apparently it's very robust as well, so you can just chuck it in a bag and not worry about it, particularly if you keep the windshield around the top. Whereas the Rode, I'm not so sure what the recommendations are, but I think the kind of the glossy aspect of it would probably mean that I would want to keep it in a case, and so yeah, it's maybe slightly less portable in lots of ways there. So why does the Rode feel much heavier than the Reynolds? Well, the Rode has a metal body in its construction, or even down to the surrounds for the capsules up here, whereas the Reynolds is I believe a 3D printed or injection molded plastic which is metal coated to reduce interference, so that really explains the difference in weight. The other big difference you see physically is the microphone capsule itself. So around the top of the Rode, you can see that the capsules are all they can be actually removed, which is good. A good bonus point for the Rode. These can actually come away, and you could replace these very easily if one became faulty, for example, for service reasons. That would be very easy to replace, which is good. Whereas the Reynolds microphone is very much more at one piece, really. It's not user serviceable in sort of any way, shape or form, I would say. The thing about the capsules with the Reynolds is that they're much closer together. For ambisonic recording, that's very important. You get less interference between the capsules, so less comb filtering at high frequency, but also imaging can be improved as well, apparently, so as far as I understand, by having capsules closer together. Now the Rode just cannot physically get them any closer because of the physical design of these, so we'll see whether we'll hear any difference in the recordings that we're going to listen to in a short while. Now, just before we move on to the recordings, I just wanted to look at the other bits that you get in the kit with the microphones. They both come with windshields. Now, as with the microphones, the Rode kit is a bit more bulky, although it does come with a windsock as well, like so, inside the kit. The Reynolds windshield, manufactured by Rycote, which is just down the road from me here in Gloucestershire. They are, this is again a lot more lightweight. Still does the job, I imagine, as well. Not fully tested by me, but yeah, comparable in terms of their quality. Now, the interesting thing is in the kit is about the cables. Now, I have the cables here between the two different products, and much like the microphones, you can see the difference between the two. The Rode cable is actually much longer and much more bulky in its design than the Reynolds. The Reynolds is very small, and even down to the connector that's used on the end, on the microphone end, jack has gone for something much smaller than a normal XLR. So Rhodes uses a standard size XLR connector, although of course it's multi-pin. But the Reynolds microphone uses this very small connector, which means that it's the whole cable assembly is very secure, but it's also much lighter and much more portable, I would say. So this is another bonus for the Reynolds, as far as I can see, and the hardware side of things extends along with regards to the clip. You can see the physical difference in size. Now, it may be that you want to go for something more robust, or what you feel like you get weight equals value for money potentially, in which case the Rode gives you a lot more bang for your buck, but actually in real terms I know which one I would prefer to carry around with me on a field recording. So we've got some examples to listen to now. My wife playing flute and myself playing percussion. It was recorded, the microphones were very close together. You can only see one of them in the video, but the capsules were as close as I could physically get them together so that we've got a fair comparison. Both microphones were recorded in A format. So basically the direct output from each capsule out of each multi-pin connector goes to 4 inputs on my Zoom FAN recorder. They were then, both microphones A format files were processed through the Rode Soundfield plugin and then through an IEM binaural encoder, so that that's what you're hearing. So we're going to listen to the Rode NT-SF1 first, and then we'll listen to the Reynolds Atype4. Here we go. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. If you want to download the B format Ambix versions of these two experiment files, you can do so. Please check out the link to my Patreon in the description field below. So in terms of tonality, there really isn't an awful lot in it. I feel like the NT-SF1, the Rode, has a slightly warmer, rounder sound to it, and that the Reynolds is a slightly thinner sound. We can look at a spectral analysis of the two microphones, of those binaural recordings we just listened to. I'll put them up on the screen. So this is the NT-SF1, and this is the Atype4, NT-SF1, Atype4. So you can see that in terms of looking at the spectrum analyzer, there's not a lot in it. But yeah, I feel like the Rode is a little bit warmer. What I really do feel like is that the Reynolds has a better image. So the spatialization just feels that little bit more accurate with the Reynolds. And the only thing that we can put that down to really is the position of the capsules, I suppose, because all of the other part of the process in terms of the plugins used and the settings in order to generate these binaural renders are exactly the same. So that's interesting. Now, overall, I think for me, the one that I'm going to buy is the Reynolds Atype4. I like the idea of having something very portable and small like this that I can chuck in a bag and I can have an ambisonic recording at my fingertips, basically, wherever I go. The Rode, I would always feel like it's something that's going to weigh me down a little bit, and I already have a ton of other things in my backpack. I don't need that much extra weight. Also, I like the idea of supporting a UK-based company. So Jack Reynolds is based out of Hackney in London, and he's building these by hand. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to spend it on this Reynolds Atype4 microphone. I'd like to thank both Reynolds and Rode for lending me these devices to make my test recordings, and for over the last 6 weeks or so I've been doing a fair amount of different bits and pieces. Have a look on my YouTube channel, Brooks Audio, if you want to check out some of my other spatial audio experiments. I hope this has been useful to you, and I'll see you next time. Big up, peace.